Good day, everyone. I hope you all had a fantastic Friday. My Friday was full of fun, Mafia fun, and long also. I opened today. I opened today at Planet Smoothie again for the fourth time this week for the 10th time, no, eighth time in 2 weeks. Haven't really had a day off. True day off. I mean, days off from Planet Smoothie, but those days involved church and library. So, not really a full, just nothing to do day for 2 weeks. That day is tomorrow, finally. Much deserved and missed time. But then I had some time to kill, and the time was killed. And then Mafia party. So at the Mafia party, met up with Jesse. We got some dinner beforehand at Subway, and then we went to the Mafia party. And I'm gonna do my best to get through everything, but to do it quickly, so this vlog doesn't turn into a long thing. But we'll see. So here we are at the Mafia party, and we're gonna play a few games. I played probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6. I don't think we got that many. Probably only 4 or 5. But I'm probably gonna miss some of them. I'll remember the games that I remember. I'll talk about the games I remember. One game we played outside. It was a small group before anyone else got there, and we introduced some new roles to the game. The roles of the seducer, who basically disables a person every night, disables someone for that night only. Basically occupies them so they can't do their job. So basically they're powerless and they stay asleep that night. And the tracker, someone who can look at someone and be told what they did via the people they visited. So if it was a cop, the cop visits or investigates someone, and you're told who that person that you point at, if you're the tracker, who they investigated. Not if they were innocent or guilty, but who they investigated. If they're a nurse, you're told who they saved. If they're a mafia, then depending on their role, you're told who they visited. So if you check the framer, they're going to be told who the mafia killed and who was framed. You won't be told which is which, but that won't matter because the next morning when the mafia member dies, or no, when the town member dies at the hands of the mafia, you can then say there was definitely a kill by the mafia, which means the other person was framed, and so things that can be revealed during the day the next time. So the tracker is a huge role if played right on the side. The seducer, by the way, is mafia. The tracker is a huge role that can be on the side of the town, much more important than the cop, because they can also figure out if the Godfather's guilty, whereas the cop really has no way of knowing because the Godfather always appears innocent. Anyway, now that's clarified. The first night I was a Miller. I came out immediately as the Miller. Tracker did their work, but the tracker was actually chosen to be seduced the first night, and there was some miscommunication and confusion as to what actually happened. But suffice it to say, that information was enough for later on for us to kind of pin down and figure out who the tracker was based on the fact that this tracker was turned by the Yakuza who struck. And we were able to figure that out based on some inconsistencies and other things that were brought up. So in that particular game, it came down to myself as the Miller, possibly turned by the Yakuza in the eyes of the nurse. The nurse and the person who was the tracker who was turned by the Yakuza into regular mafia. And we kept asking her who she investigated in order to maybe try to get her to slip up if she wasn't or whatever, and she gave too many inconsistencies, and it was enough for basically it was one of us. The nurse was in the clear because they'd revealed themselves earlier. So it was up to the nurse to decide, and luckily he decided right, and the town won. every game I played, the town won, actually. We played another game inside. It was a big game. Honestly, I don't remember any of the details. It was what it was. Another game started outside while we were doing the game inside. And in that particular game, Mafia won. But that game was the game that I was not in. Nor was Josh, nor was Jesse. And so then they ended their game. People went back inside, and we almost started a game outside. Then we didn't. We went starting a big game inside, a big, huge game inside. This is game number 3 of 4. It is 4 total. This is game number 3, and in this game, I am a Yakuza. That's right, and I was the Godfather actually in the second game, but I don't remember how it played out exactly. Ugh. I'm drawing a blank. Oh, actually, no. I will go back to the second game. I do remember what happened. What happened was there was some miscommunication, a Yakuza strike, when the Yakuza had a gun that they could have used first, and they didn't use it. And so they forgot to, and then a nurse saving the person that the Mafia tried to kill with myself. I was a Godfather. And we turned someone else who then is ready to throw us all under the bus, and then 4 guns are out in play. And thanks to the person who was saved by the nurse, who we didn't turn after all, and we didn't kill either, coming up with an idea that they should all use their guns before we lynch someone, but we should treat it like a lynching. She was able to take out, or the town was able to take out, 1 Mafia, then another Mafia, then another Mafia. And I looked around and suddenly I realized I was the only Mafia left. I was then immediately asked by a person to my right, "Are you the Mafia?" And I had just realized that I was last Mafia, and I was just thinking like, oh no, how do I make this work? And I turned and look at him, and he asked me, and I couldn't hide it. And I gave him like a dumb grin look on my face, and I tried to hide it. I kept looking at him, and he was next to Jesse, who was between us, and so Jesse saw it too. And I just like kept looking at them, trying not to make my face fluctuate too much, and try not to show the rest of the room my face, because it was showing on the side of my head, hoping that they wouldn't say anything, and they didn't actually. I was surprised. I gave myself away to them. But everyone else went after me, and they're like, "We're going to lynch you. What's your defense?" And I was like, my defense is I'm the Godfather, because there's no way I can pull this out. So I kind of surrendered. At the same time, I committed suicide by showing my card, ending the game before I could be the 5th Mafia that was, not the 4th. The 4th Mafia in a row that was shot, not lynched. Which would have sucked. So I was like, I'm going to end this game instead. So I ended it on my terms. So, town won again. Back to game 3 now. This is an interesting game because what happens is I'm the Yakuza, so I can kill myself and turn someone. So what happens is we play a little differently, and instead of just going to bed and the Mafia kills and the cops investigate and the nurse saves, Batman kills, guns are given out, whatever, we decided to do some of those things, but anything that was involves actually killing in the game, we skip. And then we wake up, and we have no kill to base off any deliberations on. And so what winds up happening is, instead of saying, oh, that person was killed, why was that person killed? Who might have killed that person? We had nothing to go on. So we were jumping on, like, this person said this at this time. Was it at this time? It might have been this other time. Whatever. And that's fine and dandy, but the person that they picked out wasn't one of my Mafia teammates. Our seducer, actually. And in her defense, for some reason, she thought it was relevant to bring up that she trusts me in this game more than anyone else. Or she said she trusts 2 people, but one of them was me, and she didn't mention the other person. And I'm just like, if you are found guilty and you reveal that you're a Mafia, I am next on the town lynching list. And I knew this, and so I had no choice but to, once she did that, and a couple people started going after me, Jesse and another guy especially caught that, and they're like, all right, Nathan's got to be too. And I was like, no, and I tried to explain what she really meant, because she really meant something else. But they took it within the context of that one game, and I couldn't convince them otherwise. So I had to strike against the Yakuza the first real night of the game. Which sucks because that's not something you want to do. But I was definitely going to be taken out the next day. So what I did was I chose someone, and then for the rest of the night, I kept trying to draw attention onto me. I want the cops to waste their investigation by investigating me. I want the gunsmith to give me a gun because it wouldn't matter. I wanted the nurse to try to save me because that would mean someone else didn't get saved. So I did everything I could. I don't think anyone jumped on it though, so it didn't work. Second one out of the game, basically. And then another Mafia was also taken out, along with the person that we killed as the Mafia. And so there were like 4 people out of the game all at once at this point. So, town wins again, basically, in the end, is what ends up happening. The last one standing is the other Yakuza who doesn't strike in time, and the game ends. And then on to the last game. Probably the most interesting one, I think. I'll do my best to talk about briefly because I'm already 11 minutes. I can't talk about this short enough. We played a little crazy. We weren't really sure what was going out there. We were afraid. We had all sorts of crazy rules out there. Ultimately, in the end, we wound up with 1 tracker, 1 Batman, and 2 of everything else, basically. But we didn't know that. We're afraid we're going to get all these complicated things and everything else. So I'm the nurse in this game, along with another guy. We've got 2 cops. We've got 1 Batman, which is Josh, who actually winds up getting killed the first night. But for some reason, we're going to start out. The Mafia gets 2 kills. The cops get 2 investigations, and we're told the nurse gets 3 saves. But then he gives each nurse 3 saves, so we actually get 6 saves. So I saved myself and the 2 other people from the previous game who were on my team as teammates of Mafia. That went out first, so we didn't get to play that other game at all. So I'm like, I'm gonna make sure we get into this game a little bit. So I saved them. The other nurse saved 3 people. Unfortunately, one of the people he saved was the person that Batman tried to kill on his one and only night. And by the way, Josh was Batman. And this wound up being one of the last Mafia standing because it turns out she was Mafia. So things happen. We save 6 people. The next time he changes it and he says if we don't lynch anyone, we're going to keep the same rules. But then he doesn't keep the same rules, and he gives the nurses only 1 save each. So we each get 1 save. So we each save ourselves. More investigations happen, whatever. Jesse comes forward as the tracker, which is what we needed, because it's a huge role. If you can come forward as a tracker and rely on the nurse to save the tracker consistently, then you can gain a lot of information. And that's exactly what happened. Jesse came forward, we gained a lot of information. And we pegged some people, we eliminated some people. Things just started falling into place. We saved Jesse the next night. We had to share a single save, and we saved him. And we saved him another time before the game ended, with the town winning, because we got all the Mafia. But it was a weird game, because we had to get everything to fit into place and everything. So, yeah, we sacrificed our cop because the tracker's more important. We sacrificed one of the nurses, not me, the other one. And that was only because he was given a gun and he killed someone on the Mafia side. I didn't get a gun today. That's the only downside. No gun. It's cool to have the gun and try to use it the right way, and then use it the right way before you're taken out. It's frustrating to see it not happen, basically. And then we came home. It's late. I've been up for about 23 hours now. 22 hours. Yeah, about 22 hours now. So I'm going to say good night, everyone. Hope this video was short enough. I hope you enjoyed it if you like Mafia and listening to this stuff. It's a lot of fun for me. It actually, I don't feel as tired as I would right now because I was just using my brain so active and everything. So it's a lot of fun. So anyway, good night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's my sleep-in day, so I will do so. And I might not have a lot to report tomorrow, but at least I finally get a day off. Good night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.